Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life. I'll talk about people, places, animals, food, sports, traveling, the whole 9 yards, hence why it's called The Mixer, because I like to mix things up in this huge playlist here with over 200 videos at this point. And today I'm going to be going back to talking about my absolute favorite sport, which is basketball. In case you missed it, I started playing NBA 2K24 on my channel recently, and because of that, I'm also going to be doing some vlogs related to that, content. So I'm going to be talking about my first, as far as I know, it's the very first athlete, player profile related to a WNBA player, and I'm going to be covering the career of Cynthia Lynn Cooper Dyke, considered to be one of, if not the greatest WNBA player of all time, the GOAT of WNBA. She had a very, very stellar playing career from 1986 until 2003, and she won championships in college, the Olympics, the WNBA itself, within which she played for the Houston Comets since the league formed in 1997, and she went on to lead them to 4 consecutive WNBA finals, and she was the finals MVP in each one, which to this day still continues to be the record for the most finals MVP for one player. She was incredible, just electrifying on the court. She formed a very strong dynasty with the Comets, at the tail end of the 90s and the early 2000s. They were just completely unbeatable in that time period. She was a shooting guard and a point guard, and after playing and winning all of her accolades, she had a pretty mildly successful coaching career from 2001 to 2022. She recently either retired or just kind of gave up on it or something, But Cynthia was very, very interesting in the sense that she opened the doors for a lot of women in the WNBA and women's basketball in general. She played mostly in Europe, in other leagues like in Spain and Italy, and then she came to America and she completely transformed the WNBA. She changed the way the game was played because she was very, very dominant. So you're going to understand why, through watching this video here. However, because it seems to be rare, to find footage of her on YouTube, and it's hard without getting the proper content, without the licensing and the WNBA stuff, I'm going to show you guys here something. It's either going to be a clip of her or a series of photos of her, but you're gonna see something anyway here.
In a gutsy and emotional performance, Houston Comets star Cynthia Cooper scores 42 points against Utah as her best friend and teammate Kim Parrott was nearing the end of her courageous battle with lung cancer.
Now, Cynthia attended Locke High School where she started playing basketball, and she even led her team to the California State Championship while averaging 31 points per game. At one point, she even scored 41 points in just one game. That was freaking insane. And she also won the Los Angeles Player of the Year award. So, there were really big things in store for her. Like when she went to University of California, she attended that university from 1982 to 1986, and she was very successful because she led them to NCAA appearances in all 4 of her years there, including 3 finals appearances and back-to-back titles in 83 and 84. There was no stopping her. She finished her college career, with an NCAA appearance in 1986, which they unfortunately didn't win, but she actually finished her career in college with 1,559 points in total, and also 381 assists and 286 steals, right? So, sorry, 256 steals, that came out wrong there, but the text showed it correctly, but I got it a little wrong there. And she compiled a grand total of a 114 to 15 team record, so 114 wins and just 15 losses. They were very dominant, and eventually she got the opportunity to play professional basketball in Europe, specifically starting in Spain at Samoa Petera, where she played from 86 to 87, and on that occasion she was the top scorer in the league with 36.7 points per game, and she really transformed the league at that time. She was giving grievance to everybody. Nobody could stop her. And then from 87 to 94, she played in Parma in Italy, where she was granted the MVP award, of the European All-Star team. And throughout her time playing in Europe, you're going to see that she was actually much more dominant than she would have been in the WNBA. And then from 94 to 96, she played in another team in Italy, which was Alcamo. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that incorrectly, but I don't speak Italian. And she became she made the Italian League All-Star team. And throughout the almost 10 years that she played there, she was the highest scoring player in the league 8 times, man. And twice, she came in second place. It's freaking crazy, man. man, leading the league in scoring that many times. Now, I'm going to show you guys some more footage of her, or some more photos, some content related to her here, before we get into her WNBA career. Now, in 1997, at the ripe old age of 34, Cynthia came back to America and signed with the Houston Comets, and played the inaugural WNBA game in 1997. On that occasion, the Comets actually won against the Cleveland Rockers 76-56, and Cynthia herself finished the game with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. And also, she was the only player in that entire first round there with 20 plus points, and became the first player in WNBA history to score 20 or more points in a single game, right? And also, she scored the most points out of all the other players there who played on that day, the WNBA. So it was crazy, and it just kept going uphill from there, because she went on to lead the league in scoring for 3 consecutive years, and she also led the Comets to a record 4 WNBA Finals appearances and championships. A lot of you might not know this, but the Comets actually won the first 4 WNBA championships consecutively, man. And she formed a very strong dynasty with 2 other players, who was the shooting guard Cheryl Supes, who was actually the first player to be signed to the WNBA, and also the power forward Tina Thompson, who was the very first WNBA college draft in history, and they were completely unstoppable. They were the very first power trio in the WNBA, and nobody could stop them. They were undefeated and unbeatable, man. And she actually, at one point through her career, Cooper became the very first WNBA player ever to score 500, 1,000, 2,000, and 2,500 career points in total. And she also scored over 30 points in 16 of her 120 games, across her career. And she also had a double-figure scoring streak across 92 straight games, man. So for 92 consecutive games, she scored over 10 points, right? Double digits. That's freaking crazy. And also, at one point when she retired in 2000, she actually came back in 2003 to play a little bit more, but at that point she was 40 years old. She played only 4 games that season, and she at the time became the oldest active WNBA player in history, a record which has since then been surpassed because another player played at 50, but Cynthia played at 40. It was crazy. And her very last game before she retired was unfortunately a loss to the Minnesota Lynx, 64-68, just a 4-point difference in a loss, man. But still, she went out with a bang, because in that game she had 22 points and 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, and that pretty much sums up the bulk of her WNBA career. But she also had a very impressive international career with Team USA. She actually won with them the inaugural Goodwill Games in Moscow in 1986, right, against the Soviet Union, averaging about 2 points per game. And then she won the FIBA World Championship also in Moscow the same year, like a month after, the Goodwill Games, also against the Soviet Union. And Cooper averaged 5.9 points per game, and she also went on to win the Pan American gold medal in Indianapolis in 1987. And then they won the Olympic gold medal in Seoul in 1988. And again, the FIBA World Championship, in Malaysia in 1990. Also won a silver medal and a bronze medal, but nobody cares about that, right? Freaking Cynthia, man. And she was actually very adept at shooting, because she was primarily a shooting guard and a point guard, right? So I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but that was the positions where she played at. And it was very impressive, a really dazzling run, throughout her time with the Houston Comets. And before I talk about her career statistics and accolades, let's take a look at either another clip or more photos of her here.
Cooper, bucket good, as once again Cynthia Cooper makes it happen.
Cooper drives in, running one-hander's good. Wow!
Cynthia Cooper, another clutch shot.
When the WNBA was launched in 1997, Cynthia Cooper became an immediate sensation. Lighting up scoreboards and electrifying fans, she led the Houston Comets to the league title in each of her first 4 seasons.
Now, let's get into her main career stats, right? Within the WNBA specifically, she finished her career with 2,601 points in total, which averages 21 points per game, right? And she was also very good on offense and defense because she had a total of 403 rebounds as well, which comes down to about 3.4 rebounds per game. And she was also a phenomenal playmaker with her 602 assists in total, which is an average of about 4.9 assists per game, which is very impressive if you ask me, especially for the WNBA. Now, as a player, right, way back in her college days, she was already a two-time NCAA champion, right, in 83 and 84, and her number 44 was retired by the USC Trojans, right? So then afterwards, when she came to the WNBA, she was a four-time WNBA champion, right? So, you know, consecutively from 97 to 2000, within which she was also a WNBA MVP, you know, finals MVP, so also consecutively from 97 to 2000, and she was also a WNBA MVP in the regular season, right? So twice in 97 and 98. She was also a three-time WNBA All-Star, right? So in 99, 2000, 2003. And also she was a she made the, how can I say this? She was a four-time All-NBA first team, All WNBA first team, you know, when she made that there in 97 and from 97 to 2000. And she was also a three-time WNBA scoring champion from 97 and 99. And she also made the WNBA 10th anniversary team in 2006, and also the WNBA 15th anniversary team in 2011, and also the WNBA 20th anniversary team in 2016, and also a WNBA 25th anniversary team as well in 2021. And her number 14 was retired by the Houston Comets, which was very unprecedented. Cynthia was very, very remarkable on the court because she brought the WNBA to new heights. You know, it's very hard for you to imagine a player like her today because everything has gone softer. You know, nobody back then, the women were really tough as hell. You know, just the dynasty that she formed, dude, you know, with Tina and Cheryl, it was just crazy. And if you watch highlights, you know, for some reason it's really hard to find highlights of her. I guess they didn't really care about, you know, getting footage of the WNBA back then, but she was a very good shooter, you know, taking the outside shots. She was really good in the paint as well. There weren't a lot of dunks, you know, until Lisa Leslie came along, right? But she was still very, very good with the ball, and being primarily a shooting and a point guard, that was pretty much her job, you know. That's literally what she was paid for, to shoot the ball more and setting up her teammates inside the paint as well. So she was very, very incredibly dominant throughout her playing time, and the very simple fact that she helped the Comets to win 4 freaking championships in a row is already indicative of that. So if you've never seen Cynthia Cooper play, man, you really missed out on something. She was a once-in-a-generation player, and I could go on to say that she is very easily the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Me personally, if we're talking about the GOAT conversation, I prefer Sue Bird, but you know what? I can recognize the greatness of Cynthia Cooper, and I hope you guys do as well. So if you happen to like this video, let me know in the comments below. You know, tell me your opinions. You know, if you who you think is the GOAT, what you think of Cynthia, if you think she deserves to be in the GOAT conversation or not. You know, who your favorite WNBA players are. Let me know, man. Let me freaking know. And if you happen to enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so I can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good. And stay tuned because there will be a few more videos regarding the WNBA and players and stuff. It's going to be quite something. So this is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.